There are two things that no matter what kind of approach you take to your espresso machine, understanding that water, is nearly 95% of your espresso beverage, and water can destroy an espresso machine, the components inside, and also like alter the flavor quite a bit. So I think the one thing that owners should really look at is, yes, the machine, but also the water that is feeding into the machine that's making your beverage. That's probably my number one recommendation, is to find a good service technician or water quality specialist that can help set up a filtration and conditioning system that's right for your espresso machine and your location. My number one recommendation is always call your manufacturer first and ask them that question. What kind of water filtration system should I have? Or what precautions, what actions should I take to set up this espresso machine? If they're not immediately available, call a service technician. If they're not immediately available, it is very, very good to call a water specialist. Even it's probably generally not recommended to hook up your espresso machine before you know what kind of water you're putting into it. Again, another nice disclaimer is, like, if there's a panel, it's probably not supposed to be taken off and be worked with, even with people who are handy, because water and electricity can really hurt somebody. I've been a victim to that, and I understand it firsthand that it can be dangerous, very dangerous. So before you even go to the hardware store, you should probably just call a service technician. And this is commercial equipment. This is very, not necessarily complicated, to work on per se, but you're in a commercial environment, so there's a lot of risk involved, going beyond not only yourself but others, and also the establishment. So there's a lot of weight that comes with that. So very, very highly recommend calling a service technician or the manufacturer to see how you might be able to do something, but first get authorization to do it. Going to a hardware store is probably, it's not recommended in any way, shape, or form, specifically just because of the materials in which some of those things are made out of, right? For example, you have the dispersion plate and the screw that holds the dispersion plate up in the group head. That screw is typically resistant to water, like stainless steel, whatnot. Maybe if you go to the hardware store, you find something that kind of threads just about right, and maybe it's the right thread depth, but maybe you overlook the fact that it wasn't stainless steel. So you start using it, and it starts to rust out, and then it damages your machine. That's one example. And then also drain hose. Drain hoses, if they're not made out of durable material, they could pinch, very simple, and then create backflow and spills everywhere. So one other thing is, even if you go online and you do get really handy and you're pretty good with safety, and you've taken all the precautions, and you think you're good at maybe replacing a safety valve on a boiler, and you buy one and you put it on the boiler and it fits perfectly, and then you realize later on that it wasn't rated at the right pressure for that boiler. Let's say it was a 1.5 and you needed to get a 2.0 bar. That can cause a lot of issues and a lot of problems, not only with safety but with functionality of the machine. So call somebody to help.